It's time again for another installment of the basics, and as you are about to see, I have a space line and a two-player game set up because I want to show you why fleet movements in the game do not always work, and I think you might know what's coming. So let's get right to it, shall we? So you've started a game of the Star Trek customizable card game, and you're either using your heavy Romulan deck or your Klingon deck, ripe with tons of good ships that can cloak and have decent weapons and shields, but your opponent's playing Borg. And as I've mentioned previously on this show, my Borg deck has never been defeated, and there's a lot of constructed Borg decks that can be like this, and they're hard to play against. And now you're thinking, oh, he's going to show me a way out of this. Well, unfortunately, no. Take, for example, my fictional opponent is playing as Romulans. He has 3 different warbirds out. Combined weapons of about 27, shields, each ship has a shields of either 7 or 8. My opponent has also played metaphasic shields, which boosts each ship by 2 if there's science on board. And he's got the space-time portal, meaning he can bring out additional ships or personnel that can help staff that. There's really no way to defeat a heavy Borg deck, especially if your deck is like mine. And you see all these cards. This is all personnel, plus the Queen herself, which is somewhere under there on her matching cube. There's a lot more Borg personnel left in this deck that I haven't even brought out yet. With only half the personnel, the Borg cube that started off with weapons of 24 and shields of 24, it's sitting at about weapons of 50, shields of 50 right now. Plus, I have Transwarp Network Gateway and a deck that has many red alerts, so I can just keep slopping down tons of personnel onto this one ship. You have to understand that certain decks in this game can be made just to annihilate and not score points. I could score points if I wanted to, but why when I have a powerful Borg deck? Fleet movements have this issue. You can have as many ships as you want, and I've mentioned before that having too many ships in a deck can be detrimental because of the amount of crew you need to staff them. But it's also hampering you if you're trying to get all these ships out and you have that sitting there. Even with metaphasic and nutational shields being played, if you have multiple copies, your puny fleet is no match for a Queen's Borg cube that's enhanced this badly. And it's enhanced mainly by just the personnel, not add-on cards like what my opponent is using. To put it in layman's terms, you can have 6 or 10 warbirds sitting there, and this cube would make very short work of them, and you will be dead. My advice is very simple, and I'm going to explain that to you in just a moment. So by now you're sitting there saying, but Jason, what do I do then? Well, it's actually very simple. You don't confront a Borg cube. Especially at the start of the game when my cube is sitting here and your outpost is here and there's all that, and the space line will be bigger, mind you. You start going and attempting missions and getting through those dilemmas as fast as you can. Because if you're playing an opponent like me that has a deck that's set up for annihilation, I don't even need most of my personnel on it. I'm just going to start using up my range to get towards you. Pow! I'm going to take you out. Score points. Get bonus points as you can, and don't overload your ships with personnel. And don't have too many ships in your deck. I've said this again and again. And that's all there is to it. Have a great day.